My spoiled and entitled younger sister got pregnant by my older sister's fiancé 3 weeks before their wedding and announced it at dinner, so we gave her a brutal reality check and slowly ruined her life. After my older sister Rebecca discovered that Jessica had been secretly sleeping with her fiancé David for 6 months and was pregnant with his child, there was a lot of tension in the whole family. Of course, Jessica, the golden child, was shameless and went on to marry David in the exact same venue Rebecca had booked, wearing a white dress despite being 7 months pregnant. Rebecca found it extremely hard at the beginning, especially since Jessica had used Rebecca's own wedding plans, vendors, and even tried to steal her wedding dress. We were extremely close through this time period, and we helped each other through the betrayal. Eventually, she got over it, met a really successful investment banker named Malik, who understood her past trauma and treated her like a queen. They got married in a beautiful destination wedding in Santorini, and I was actually the maid of honor. She even invited our parents to the wedding, despite the fact they had attended Jessica's wedding to David and acted like nothing was wrong. My parents didn't attend, however. A few more years went by, and eventually our parents reached out to Rebecca begging to reconcile with her, and this is where the crap storm started. Rebecca agreed to reconcile and came to dinner along with her husband, Malik. Jessica was also there with David and their 2 kids. Throughout the evening, I noticed Jessica kept making snide comments about how some people can't have children. Rebecca and Malik had been trying, and how David was such an amazing father, but Malik just held Rebecca's hand under the table. When it was time for dinner, my parents made a toast. Then out of nowhere, Jessica stood up and said that she was so blessed to have such a beautiful family and that she was pregnant again. She then redirected to Rebecca and said, "Sis, I know it must be hard for you because David chose me and we have this beautiful family now, but thanks for your blessing. I know it must be hard for you to be here, knowing you can't have children while I'm on my 3rd, but I applaud your bravery." This was the moment where Jessica got the biggest reality check of her life. Rebecca's husband, Malik, who had been quietly investigating David's finances for months, stood up and said, "Actually, Jessica, we have some news too. We're not only expecting twins through IVF, but I've also just finished acquiring David's company through a hostile takeover. As of Monday morning, your husband will be unemployed." He then turned to David and continued, "Oh, and those 3 other women you've been sleeping with? They've all been contacted by my wife's divorce attorney friend. Jessica, you might want to get tested. But here's the best part. Remember that prenup you signed because you were so desperate to marry him? Well, infidelity clause means you get nothing. You're about to be a single mother of 3 with no income, no house, and a cheating husband who's about to be served divorce papers by the woman he's been seeing for the past year. She's pregnant too, by the way. You think you're so special because you won David? You won a man who cheats on everyone, including you. You destroyed my wife's life for a man who's been systematically cheating on you since your honeymoon. You're such a pathetic woman that you bragged about stealing him, not realizing you stole trash. My wife upgraded to someone who would never touch another woman, while you downgraded to someone who can't keep it in his pants. How does it feel to know your whole marriage is a lie? That your children will grow up knowing their father has multiple other families? Do you sleep well at night knowing he's with other women while you're home with the kids? Nobody respects a woman who steals another woman's man, but everybody pities a woman whose stolen man turned out to be worthless." Everyone in the room just stared as David's phone began buzzing nonstop. The other women had started posting about him on social media, and his divorce attorney was calling, but then Jessica started laughing, a slow, unsettling laugh that made everyone uncomfortable. She pulled out her phone and showed us a video. "You think you've won, Rebecca? Malik? I've been recording every private conversation you've had in your home for the past 2 years, including the one where you discussed the hostile takeover before it was public information. That's insider trading, sweetheart. And the best part? I have recordings of you admitting to something much, much worse. Something that happened back in college that you thought nobody knew about." Rebecca's face went white as Jessica continued. "So here's what's going to happen. You're going to call off the takeover, you're going to transfer $5 million to my account, and you're going to smile while you do it. Or I send